What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Richest Steve in Atlanta. I am your host, Stevie Steve, and we are here at 6 a.m. in the morning, y'all. The day is officially the first of the month, April 1st. Shouts out to another month, y'all. We done made it. Another month of consistent posting this live stream. So we are at it, getting to it. Like I said, every morning we've been here every Monday morning. And the fact that it is April 1st is just another notch that we've reached in consistency. You know, we've been consistent in a lot of areas. Wake it up early, get to work, get our work done before we go to work, hitting that gym, bringing sexy back, being consistent at that. It's just a whole bunch of other things. But if you here with me, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment, especially if you are 6 a.m. crew. I know 6 a.m. crew is in the building to start this month off right. We are here. We are ready to get this thing going. Like I said, I hope y'all are doing good for this first of the month, April 1st. This month is very special for me. I do have a birthday coming up in about, 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I will be turning 26. So, I won't be a quarter lifer anymore. I will be straight up 26. So, shouts out to that. Shouts out to that. April is going to be a great month for us all. I'm speaking it into existence right now. More getting to that bag, more to looking better, more to continue doing the things that we doing to make our life better. Straight up like that. Straight up like that. Today's show, we got a lot of good things coming for you. We always got some good things coming for you, and we going to keep them good things rolling for you. We got some DDG. He coming in here. He going to give y'all some beginning of the month motivation real quick. I was surprised. Then we got Stephen A. Smith was on the PBD podcast. We got a little clip from that. That was some, they talked about some good stuff. Let me know that we all might need to do some learning for ourselves. And then, we're going to end this thing off with some money moves. 10 money rules to build life wealth. Come on, y'all. It's going to be a good session today. You feel me? We going to have us a good session, and we going to get through this thing. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. All right, y'all. So we going to get straight into this thing with DDG coming at us with, like I said, I was surprised when he came with some good motivation. I don't usually watch him per se myself, but I seen on TikTok that he had said some things, and I was like, you know what, I can rock with that. So maybe he just don't goof off. That's not what he do all day on his vlogs. He coming at us with some good stuff. So I wanted to start this month off with this, what he got to say, because we all can use some motivation from time to time. And, he does have a big platform. He has a big platform. So the fact that he's even given, this little tad bit of, advice for people, this motivation for people, it shows, the character a little bit. It's not all, let's have a good time. He actually, has some retrospect. But he's coming at us from a beautiful island. I don't know where he's at, but it is beautiful. He's looking into the sunset, and looking out into the horizon, thinking about life, and he gave us some tips of our own. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. DDG with your morning motivation.
Growing up in Pontiac, Michigan, I was never given the chance to see stuff like this. There's somebody watching this right now and you smoking and you just sitting in your room and you just thinking everything is just gonna be handed to you. But I'm here to let you know, bro, you can't get nothing in this life unless you work for it. Put that blunt down right now. I don't care if you laughing, I don't care if you got off work, none of that. You ain't worked hard enough. Put that joint down, put that drink down until you get your work done, until you elevate your life. Cause you ain't seen this yet. You ain't touched the amount of dollars you want to touch. So why the hell you think you able to reward yourself with smoking drinks and partying and doing all this other stuff? No, we ain't got time to party. We got time to work. Party comes later. I told myself if I had to work till I'm 50, I'll party when I'm 51. They don't understand that type of mentality, motivation, and hustle. This don't come with just smoking weed and sitting in your room. This comes with hard work, dedication, motivation, inspiration to get out of your situation. Take patience. Y'all want to understand that though. These houses up here ain't cheap. Y'all out here doing all these drugs, getting toe up from the flow up. But when are you gonna take time to put in time to yourself so you can go up? You make me sick. Damn near want to throw up. Man, you gotta wake up in the morning, pray to God and say, God, thank you for what I got, but I want more. I told God I want to be rich, I don't want to be poor. It's like going to the gym every day when it comes to motivation. Like, I feel sore. It's like when I do sit-ups because I'm trying to get up, I'm trying to work on my core. That's when muscles get torn. That's what you got to understand. Muscles get torn and they repair, and that creates you to get bigger. All right, my bad, y'all. I was doing too much, but yeah, I just wanted to come on here and motivate y'all a little bit. This is so beautiful. Here for Hallie's birthday, having a good time. Give y'all a quick little panoramic view real quick. Got my son in the back. Obviously, he's asleep. I know he doesn't participate in anything lit. He was up earlier in the little clay stuff, but when it comes to shit like this that's super lit, he don't want to be a part of it. He like to wait until he able to give a fuck. So he sleep, but it's Hallie's birthday, y'all. I got her gift, right? And this would have been the perfect place to give her a gift. But I wasn't able to. I didn't think we was gonna be here on here this too long. Now the sun's setting, so I gotta give it to her later. So you cannot skip this vlog. Do not leave, do not go anywhere, okay? Really gonna spend some quality time, though. I don't know how much we're gonna get on the boat, but y'all see how we living, how we working. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a great time. Hopefully y'all wish Hallie a happy birthday. We out here vibing, man. Check out the cruise ship. That's all I've been seeing, a bunch of cruise ships going past. But I'm finna spark up, chill right here.
All right, yep. He ended that off right there. I hope that motivated some of y'all though. He is, like he said, he's somewhere. It's the sunset. Y'all seen that view? It's beautiful. Coming with straight bars. I think he was coming with bars. I know y'all heard some of them bars. He started off popping folks across the head. What is you doing laying in bed? You probably just got through smoking that blunt. He was coming with straight bars. And it's like he said, he had a point in his life. Y'all see what he doing? He got somebody recording him. Watching this beautiful sunset, probably in the Caribbean islands somewhere, for his girl's birthday. It's beautiful. Coming with straight bars. Hold on. Let's go bar to bar. Cause he said some stuff. We can easily go bar to bar.
Sit-ups, cause
we can easily go bar to bar. Let's see what he got. Hold on.
Growing up in Pontiac, Michigan, I was never given the chance to see stuff like this. There's somebody watching this right now and you smoking and you just sitting in your room and you just thinking everything is just gonna be handed to you.
I'm telling you, a lot of us, where we grow up, that's how it is. You ain't never gonna be able to see nothing like that. But at the same time, you laying in your bed smoking every day. It ain't like you just doing it. You smoking every day. Regular people, like, you never think that you would be able to see stuff like this. And at the same time, you are smoking every day. What real work are you putting in? What real work?
I'm here to let you know, bro, you can't get nothing in this life unless you work for it. Put that blunt down right now. I don't care if you laugh.
Look, he said, put that blunt down right now. To me, when I did, the way he said was he smacked that blunt out your hand. Get that out your hand. And get up and go do something. You probably, finished your day at work, working for the man. You worked for the man now. You did that. Now you got to decompress and hit you a blunt to end your day off. Man, get that out your hand. That's what he just said. You ain't put in enough work yet. Especially if you want to get to that next phase in life. You ain't put in enough work yet because you ain't worked on yourself. But you so busy trying to get over what you had going on for the day. Like he said, it's the sunset where he at, and he working. He basically working. He might seem like it. He got the cameraman on him. He post this on YouTube. That's what he do. Getting views. He gonna get paid for this. He came, he talking to people like everyday people, cause he know who he talking to at the end of the day. He know who watching him. They sitting there, they done got off work, they done rolled them up a blunt. Oh, DDG done posted. Let me watch that. Hit that blunt, and then he come on here and say, "Get that blunt out your hand, cause you ain't did nothing to deserve that yet."
I don't care if you got off work, none of that. You ain't worked hard enough. Put that joint down, put that drink down until you get your work done, until you elevate your life. Cause you ain't seen this yet.
Telling you that you gotta work hard cause you ain't seen stuff like that yet. You probably worked. You probably came from your 9 to 5. What you do for you yet though? What have you done to elevate your life, though? That's the question. What have you done for you? What have you done to add to your family legacy? What have you done to add more money in your pocket? But yet, you smoking and drinking every day. Ain't did nothing to add to your life. Ain't did nothing to add to someone else's life. Ain't did nothing to add value in anything that you have going on. But go to work. You went to work. I mean, if that's enough for you, you ain't never gonna see that. Like he said, you ain't never gonna see this if that's enough for you. You need to put it down. Somebody need to just come in there and smack that out your hand. And y'all know if we go in the Richard Steve in Atlanta route, I tell you, you spending too much money on this activity. Go ahead, write down every time you done bought your 1G. Every single day. $15 every single day. Really, you probably spend about $20 every single day. You ain't never gonna get there. Then you lazy right after. You know you ain't gonna do nothing. You done smoke, drink. You about to chill the rest of the night. Burn all your working hours.
You ain't touched the amount of dollars you want to touch. So why the hell you think you able to reward yourself with smoking, drinks, and partying and doing all this other stuff? No, we ain't got time to party. We got time to work. Party comes later.
I'm telling you, party can come later. We ain't got time. It ain't enough time in the day. Every day, I agree with him. I ain't hit the amount of money I want to hit every day. I ain't hit the amount of money I want to hit, period. So what am I partying every day for? Is every day a party? Have I done anything really to party? I ain't accomplished the goals I want to accomplish yet. And if I'm drinking and smoking every day, especially, without actually doing any work for me, for myself, for my legacy, for other people, to add value, I don't deserve to smoke, drink, and party every day.
I told myself if I had to work till I'm 50, I'll party when I'm 51.
That's a bar.
They don't know.
That's a bar. I told myself if I gotta work until I'm 50, I'll party when I'm 51. That's a bar. That's a bar. That's hard work right there. That's dedication. I told myself I'm gonna work until I'm 50. If I gotta work until I'm 50, I will party when I'm 51.
I don't understand that type of mentality, motivation, and hustle. This don't come with just smoking weed and sitting in your room. This comes with hard work, dedication, motivation, inspiration to get out of your situation. Take patience.
Okay, yeah. He's spitting bars now. This straight bars now. Hard work is the name of 2024 for us here at this Richard Steve in Atlanta community. Hard work. That's what it is for us. We don't practice dedication, consistency, all that. Now we need to do some hard work. All that other stuff can go on. It's hard work. And we understand that it's going to take time. So we got to be patient and just stay consistent with that thing. We're going to be dedicated to the process. And then we're going to put in that work, that hard work. Like I said, hard work is the name of 2024. And we just been riding on that. For the next month, we still going to be at it. All April. And it's only April 1st, y'all. It's only April 1st. And we about to be working hard all month. Non-stop. Every week. Right back at this thing.
Y'all want to understand that though. These houses up here ain't cheap. Y'all out here doing all these drugs, getting toe up from the flow up.
Bar.
But when are you gonna take time to put in time to yourself so you can go up? You make me sick. Damn near want to throw up.
Bar. I'm telling y'all. I be seeing y'all. I see y'all. You living that life. I be thinking, man, what they done did to help themselves. Like he said, ain't did nothing to add value to nobody's life. Not even your own. But there you go. You done. You starting your day off. Let me get a blunt. Let me drink some lick. Then you gonna go to work, come home, and do the same thing. Ain't did nothing to add value to nothing. Not your life. Not your pockets. Not your bank account. Not your legacy. Not your family's legacy. Ain't did nothing for your kids. Ain't did nothing for your relationship. Ain't did nothing to add value anywhere. But you on them drugs. Every day. It's crazy, y'all. Like he said, you make me sick. Throw up. Bar.
Man, you gotta wake up in the morning, pray to God and say, God, thank you for what I got, but I want more. I told God I want to be rich, I don't want to be poor.
Bar. Wake up every day. Thank you. But I want more, God. I'm telling you. A lot of us will say, though, we don't want to be poor, but you have poor people habits, for sure. For sure. You know, when you wake up in the morning, it's time to put in that work. It's like that's when we about to start putting in that work. You wake up in the morning, yeah, you need to be thankful and ask for more. But you better be ready to put in that work too. Don't just say it. You got to show it. Your actions have to change. Your habits need to change. That's period.
It's like going to the gym every day when it comes to motivation. Like, I feel sore. It's like when I do sit-ups because I'm trying to get up, I'm trying to work on my core.
Yeah.
That's when muscles get torn. That's what you got to understand. Muscles get torn and they repair, and that creates you to get bigger. All right.
He wasn't lying right there, y'all. He ended that off with some workout bars. Straight up workout bars. We go into the gym mentally. We putting ourselves through hard situations because it's only gonna make you stronger. It's only gonna make you stronger. I know I've been in that gym bringing sexy back. I know about being sore. That's how you know you putting in that work. You breaking yourself down so you can build yourself and come back stronger. We doing that physically and mentally. All 2024. Working hard is not fun all the time. It'll break you down. You'll have some tired mornings. Some early nights. You might not go out and party all the time. You'll miss some things. It's okay. You only staying down for the come up. It's only making you mentally stronger. We still go to that gym. Get your workout in. It'll break you down. You'll be sore. But the next week you'll be stronger. That's all I'm saying. And he was just giving y'all some motivation. I'm here to give y'all some more motivation as well, y'all. This is going to be a great month for all of us. We just need to keep putting in that work. Hard work. 2024. What's the name of it? Hard work. We're going to continue to put that in. Dedication. Like he said, stay patient. Because over time, everything will work in your favor. And that's just... I've been learning that myself over these past few days. No, over my life. Life is not a race, it is a marathon. And we just gonna stay patient and put in our work, stay dedicated, consistent. We gonna be good. I need y'all to listen to that motivation at the beginning of this month and let it set the tone for us. Because we gonna see the other side. We gonna get to the other side. Life might not be promised, but we gonna work like we gonna see the other side. And that's for sure. Like I said, I hope that gave y'all some motivation. It motivates me to keep going because like he said, he there like multiple days. They doing it big. They on this boat. I ain't never did that. I ain't touched that yet. So that means I still gotta work. And if you feel the same way, that means you still gotta work. And we can just work together to get there. Like I said, though, I hope that gave you some good morning motivation. So make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know if you motivated, how you feel about that. That was some good stuff. If you here with me, 6 a.m. crew, make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe. We're going to move right on into the next thing. Like I said, Stephen A. Smith was on the PBD podcast, and they had some things to say. Voting Democrat for 200 years is the title. How LBJ made Black Americans dependent on the government. It made me want to do research, y'all. And I think we all, especially in the Black household, African American diaspora, we need to start doing some learning outside of school. They talking about things that it's just not taught in school. There's no way we would be able to find this stuff out. And I think that's the biggest thing that is holding us back in life, period. You know, even politically and all this stuff, which is why we're voting Democrat for years and years now, is because we don't know better. We don't know anything but this is how you need to vote. Ain't did no research for ourselves on policies, history. Let's be real. Don't even really know the history of it. Just voting just cause. That's how we vote. And they had a great conversation on that, Patrick Bet-David and Stephen A. Smith, on this topic. So I said, yeah, let me bring this up in the morning. And see how they moving. Let's go ahead and get this rolling.
I think things are so different today because okay, let's go back to, you've talked about this before, and I'll just kind of ask you, I think it's good for the audience if you want to go through it. 1960, 64% of African Americans would vote Democrat.
Yes, sir.
The rest was conservative.
Yes, sir.
Let's put liberal and conservative. That's a better way of saying it, right?
Okay.
64 liberal, 36 conservative. 1964, 4 years later, 92% blacks are voting Democrat.
Yeah. Lyndon B. Johnson's civil rights legislation.
So what happened there? Maybe give a little bit of the history of Goldwater, Lyndon Johnson, what he did.
JFK's assassinated. Lyndon B. Johnson's in office. Republicans and Democrats, back in the day, Dixiecrats, bipartisanly bring a bill to the desk of Lyndon B. Johnson. He signed civil rights legislation into law. According to whatever reports you believe, Lyndon B. Johnson says, we sign this legislation into law, we'll have the Negroes voting for us for the next 50 years.
Dang. Did they make it to 50?
Sure enough, that's what it was.
See?
And I think me personally, as I've edified myself over the years to see what's been transpiring in our community, on one hand, when I look at legislation and I think about affirmative action and other things, and I see how I've benefited because opportunities were given to me at a particular moment in time in the 80s, for example, when, that some would say may not have been given to me if I were not an African American or you didn't have affirmative action in a place and what have you. When you hear those things, you're trying to lean left because you're saying they're thinking about us. And like you said, those messengers from the Democratic Party are very profound. You've got Jimmy Carter in office, but the economy was so bad, so Reagan had to get him out of there. But you got Reagan in office from 80 to 88. You're looking at what transpired in his administration, good or bad, depending on how you think about it. But if you're not educated, what are you thinking? Did he care about black people? You're actually asking those questions if you're coming from the black community and you're not reading all the time. You're not educating yourself because you're literally trying to survive. And when that happens, ultimately it becomes habit. Your mama voted Democrat, your dad voted Democrat, your big sister, big brother voted Democrat. How could you think about voting any other way? And all of a sudden, those habits kick in, and then you get older and older, and you start seeing how it profoundly affects your life as an individual, and you're like, wait a minute. Like, for example, for me, when we go back to 2016, 2020, Hillary was somebody that I would not have mind seeing in office. In 2020, I can tell you right now, I would have voted for Kasich. In 2016, I would have voted for Kasich. I would have voted for Chris Christie. I would have voted definitely for those guys. And there's a plethora. I would have voted for Nikki Haley. If Nikki Haley was running right now instead of Donald Trump, she would be getting my vote over the Democrats. I wouldn't hesitate because no matter what you think about those folks, they show you they know how to be an adult in the room. That's a far cry from where I was 15, 20 years ago. It would have been Democrat all day, every day. I don't think like that now. And and honestly speaking, I don't think anybody should. I don't think it's right to have any party affiliation with today's politics, because I don't think you can trust either side. I think you got to watch what they do, see what they do, and see what policies work best for you. And Mark Levin once said this to me, along with Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. He said, hey, man, most people vote their issues. They're not looking at, you can bring up immigration, the economy, all
right.
Whatever issue is most near and dear to them, that's what they focus on. So you got a black community right now that'll look at Joe Biden. You know what they'll say right now? Well, Barack Obama gave about $330 million to HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. Trump comes in there, he gives about 360 8 years later. Barack Obama did that in 2010. Trump did that in 2018, about 360 million. But now look what Biden and the Biden administration has done. They've dedicated over $7 billion. For some folks, that's enough. Not for me, not for others, but for some folks, that's enough. And it's about finding that one issue. Because why? How did they learn? And this is why I can fault the politicians just as much as I can fault the voter. Because folks got that way because the politicians got them that way. Because you go into their community, you go into their respective communities, and you give that song and dance and that lip service about that one issue they cared most about. That's what you wanted. That's what you trained the voter to be like. And in most instances now, it's coming back to bite you.
May I?
Yes.
I want to.
Yeah, see, Stephen A. just broke that down. I think he broke it down pretty good. He's well educated. He can speak. So it kind of came out to me. Something that I would feel. It came out as something I would feel. The first thing I got from that, though, the first feeling I got is that he's done his research. It's a lot of things they say, y'all, that I specifically do not know or just don't. It wasn't important to me at all in high school or when I learned it. It wasn't really what I was on. So when it comes to voting and knowing political history and all those things, I'm not well versed. Like I said, it's something that I'm learning just now. At 25, about to be 26. It's something that we have to educate ourselves on. It's something that we have to want to be educated on. It's something that we need to do our research on, because it just shows, I'm sure it applies with everyone else. It applies to all of us. The only thing that we knew was to vote Democrat. That's all you know. The history behind both parties don't really know. All I've been taught is, well, this is what you vote because this side is racist. This side is the one that we vote for. And it seems like when it comes to civil rights, just, from the history, bipartisan. That means it comes to the table together. It's pushed through together. Both sides. So if we just giving the Democrats, everything for that's not it. That's really not what it was. Especially beforehand, it seemed like more of us were conservative than liberal, just before the bill was passed. And then we gave all the credit to one side and said, well, we're Democrat now, y'all. And this is what we gonna do. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. You ain't even got to learn nothing. All you need to know. All you need to know. This is all you need to know. Yeah, he said a lot of things. Hold on, let's rewind that. He definitely said a lot. Let me see right here.
Administration, good or bad, depending on how you think about it. But if you're not educated, what are you thinking?
Look, there you go.
From 80 to 88, you're looking at what transpired in his administration, good or bad, depending on how you think about it. But if you're not educated, what are you thinking?
Exactly. See, that's my thing. We're not educated to really think anything except this is what it is. That's all I know is this is what it is.
Did he care about black people? You're actually asking those questions
That's
if
what I'm
you're
saying.
coming from the black community.
I would not know.
And you're not reading all the time. You're not educating yourself because you're literally trying to survive. And
it can be,
when that happens, ultimately it becomes habit. Your mama voted Democrat, your dad voted Democrat, your big sister, big brother voted Democrat. How could you think about voting any other way? And all of a sudden, those habits kick in.
How? It does not go anywhere. That's I'm saying. I've been voting Democrat for the past whatever so elections just because. I can't tell you why. I know why. Because that's what we do. We vote Democrat. So I can tell you that's literally why. I haven't done any research, didn't have an opinion of my own at all.
And then you get older and older and you start seeing how it profoundly affects your life as an individual. And you're like, wait a minute. Like, for example, for me, when we go back to 2016, 2020, Hillary was somebody that I would not have mind seeing in office. In 2020, I can tell you right now, I would have voted for Kasich. In 2016, I would have voted for Kasich. I would have voted for Chris Christie. I would have voted definitely for those guys. And there's a plethora. I would have voted for Nikki Haley. If Nikki Haley was running right now, instead of Donald Trump, she would be getting my vote over the Democrats. I wouldn't hesitate. Because no matter what you think about those folks, they show you they know how to be an adult in the room. That's a far cry from where I was 15, 20 years ago. It would have been Democrat all day, every day.
All day, every day.
I don't think like that now.
Why?
I don't think like that.
That's just what it is. We trying to elevate, y'all. We trying to elevate. So when you actually start elevating, you start looking around. You start looking around the room like, hold on. Why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? Am I really Democrat in myself, or am I just doing it just cause?
That now, and I don't, and honestly speaking, I don't think anybody should. I don't think it's right to have any party affiliation with today's politics
at all,
because I don't think you can trust either side. I think you got to watch what they do, see what they do, and see what policies work best for you. And Mark Levin once said this to me.
To me, that's a big thing for me. What are you gonna do for the black community? Other than give us a handout, other than say we'll give you this, but you have to be below this number, you know. As a community, that's like, all right, you have to stay down, and if you want this welfare check, you know, you need to stay in the struggle if you want this extra $500 a month. Who do we want to do that? What you gonna do to help the black community elevate financially? From poor to middle class. Like we trying to go from poor to middle class, from middle class to upper class. You feel me? We're not trying to stay the same. So what are you doing to actually help us other than giving us a handout if we stay poor? That's my biggest thing. What are you doing to help us? So I want to go to each side. Now I'm looking at each side. Well, I've seen what the Democrats done did. What the Republicans gonna do? Oh, this the play they running. I might like that more. Hold on, why have I been voting Democrat all this time then? What's going on? Oh, because I've been told to and I didn't do no research. I'm just blindly out here. And this I'm telling you, this is how people my age feel. This is what people my age are realizing. I mean, some of them, you know, they probably was doing their work, you know. They probably was doing their work. But I know for me and the people around me, if I ask them, hey, bro, why you voting Democrat? Hey, bro, that's what we vote. Okay, that lets me know I need to do some research and education, because that just doesn't make sense to just do something just because. No reason at all.
Along with Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, he said, hey, man, most people vote their issues. They're not looking at, you can bring up immigration, the economy, all right. Whatever issue is most near and dear to them, that's what they focus on. So you got a black community right now that'll look at Joe Biden. You know what they'll say right now? Well, you know, Barack Obama gave about $330 million to HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. Trump comes in there, he gives about 360 8 years later. Barack Obama did that in 2010. Trump did that in 2018, about 360 million. But now look what Biden and the Biden administration has done. They've dedicated over $7 billion.
I hope they
For some
see it.
folks,
I hope they do right by
that's
that
enough.
money, y'all. I really hope they do right by that money and don't be scamming folks out their refund checks. They need to make sure they put it in the infrastructure for sure. Because them folks be going through it at them HBCUs in them dorm rooms that look trash, toe down, ain't got no door on them. You know, do right by them now. Stop charging them so much for that education. Especially if they getting a grasshopper breeding degree. You know, you need to. I hope they use that money right. It's a lot of scandals that's going on. They've been taking folks' money. You know, at least do something with that to help them folks out for real. Not just give them an education at that HBCU. I went to a PWI, so I ain't gonna see none of that money. It's okay though. Y'all gave. If it is a good cause, I'll be okay with that. But you sure did not pay off my student loans, and I can be mad about that.
Not for me, not for others, but for some folks, that's enough. And it's about finding that one issue. Because why? How did they learn? Then this is why I can fault the politicians just as much as I can fault the voter. Because folks got that way because the politicians got them that way. Because you go into their respective communities and you give that song and dance and that lip service about that one issue they cared most about.
Build the
That's
wall.
what you wanted. That's what you trained the voter to be like. And in most instances now, it's coming back to bite you.
May I?
I'm telling you, that's what happened to me, y'all. That's what happened to me with my student loan forgiveness. It was preached. I'm telling you. That's probably the first time I felt like I was like, yeah, I'm about to be debt free. I'm about to, get my student loans up out of here. And I voted for that one thing. Dang, Stephen A., you trying to talk? You talking about me? You talking about me? That's exactly what happened, man. They spoke that lip service and they couldn't hold up to that promise. That's exactly what's happening. Stephen A. talking about me, y'all. He said, I'm going to forgive your student loans. Oh, boy. You got my vote. In lip service, preached it multiple times. Promises you could not keep. Or the government couldn't keep as a whole. I know that much. And now look. I still got it. I done paid it off myself. About paid it off myself. I will pay it off myself. It'll be paid off myself before the government do something about that. So that's a for sure.
Yes. I want to say, because you said a lot, and I want to write it down, and I want to go through each of these to the best of my ability.
Sure.
So 1964, Rob, you pulled it up, and I'm glad you said it, because I went and actually looked at Snopes. Go to Snopes, because I wanted to know, did he actually say that, right? Because this is what we found. I won't read it, but the audience can read it. Can you go a little lower where it shows the whole thing? Okay, we can just show that at the top, and then we'll read the whole thing. Okay, right here. You can do that right there. These boom, that's right. They're getting pretty uppity these days, and that's a problem for us.
What to say,
They've got something now they've never had before, the political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this, and we've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference, and then boom, you know that line, you brought it up, I'll have him voting this way, Democratic, for the next 200 years.
Yes.
You know what Snopes said? Snopes didn't say this.
Yo, I think that is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Lyndon B. Johnson is shot out for that. I think this is one of the craziest things.
Not right.
I've
Go a little
ever
bit more.
fact
It says
checkers.
unproven. And
Yeah.
Snopes is
Literally, they may say it's unproven, all that stuff. That is the craziest thing I've heard in a long time.
Rights hero, but also a racist. And if you look at the stuff,
Like, boy, civil rights hero and a racist makes sense. But like they said, you gotta look at the times. You have to look at the time. I think Kennedy was just assassinated. People marching. And they marches looked kind of different to me as well, you know, than the marches we had today. But that's a little. Other than that, they was really marching, like, for real. And they were led by a great leader. You know, this last, I don't think we had just a leader who was leading it. We had BLM pushing the movement, and y'all seen how they turned out. So, you know, at least with this, we had great leaders. You know, Malcolm X, even though he did it differently, he was still a leader this time. But we had, you know, we had a great leader for that. We had great leaders. It just
about him, how many times he dropped the, N-word and all this other stuff. This guy was not wanting to do what he did with civil rights. No. Credit goes to one man and the community that pushed it. There's a reason why we all have a poster or painting of him in our offices and our walls, and he's admired by everybody. It doesn't matter, left, right, center, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. Everybody loves and admires what this man did. One of the greatest movements of all time. He accomplished it in a peaceful way, different than X. He was able to get it done, right? Okay.
Yeah, like I said, he basically said the things that I had just said, but yeah, it was definitely different. And for it to be at that time, it was some real racism going on. You know, we get backhanded racism these days, but that was some real racism going on back in those days. So it's definitely, it was a different period, and for that like they said, give credit to one person just to give credit to him, it's no way. It's not a way. It was some backhanded things that came with that at the same time.
At that time, can you type in Civil Rights March? Just type in Civil Rights March, if you don't mind doing that. Just type in Civil Rights March and go to images, if you could do that. When you type in civil rights, click on that first picture. What do you see a lot of? Look at the way they're dressed. Yeah. Just look at the way, go to the bottom left picture, maybe that's got more people in suits. Bottom left.
Bottom left.
Look at the ties. Look at the suits.
Tuxedos.
Look at the tuxedos. Look at the bow ties. Wow. Mm-hmm. Pure class on the way it's being dressed. So Lyndon Johnson, War on Poverty, 1964. Do you know at the time, can you look up when Planned Parenthood came out? Maybe you look I don't know the exact year. When did Planned Parenthood come out?
I think it was 71, 72.
70. What year is it? Go a little bit, Singer, whatever her name is, where he started the movement. Anyways, so you look at some of this data, and you see that we went at the time when kids are being born, only 4% of kids in America, if you can pull up the stat, Rob, 4% of kids in America were born, in single-family household. Right. 96%, mom and dad. Yeah. Fast forward, we went from 4% to 41%. Mm-hmm. And by the way, it's even higher for African Americans. Mm-hmm. This is America. This is not African Americans. Percentage of children born out of wedlock, but African American is to the roof. That wasn't the case. You guys were always united, conservative. It's a good community, respectful, Bible Belt. Right. When I was in the Army, and I
want to bring that back. This is crazy. And like I said, this is for the United States, which lets you know that for African American black people, we higher than this. We was definitely higher than this. But it was some policies that had to go on just to make America, like, the shift in this is crazy. America had to do something to push us, towards this. Went from 4% to 40%. It may be half for the black community. it may be half for the black community. Closer to half, 45, 50. Definitely. So what happened? That's the what happened. Oh, here they trying to say it's the war on poverty begins, which we gonna give you this money as long as there's not no no male in the home. As long as y'all stay poor, we gonna give you this money. The father's not home. Family's not together anymore. Come on now. This is
conservative. It's
America,
a
this is
good
crazy.
Community, respectful, Bible Belt.
Right.
When I was in the Army, and my friends in the Army, I was hanging out when I would go see their families, I was afraid of their mothers. No, seriously.
Right.
Your mother would have talked to me like I'm her son.
Right.
Yeah,
And she would put me in my place. It was a different kind of a culture. That was what I was accustomed to, right? So to me, when they say systemic racism, if you want to give anybody credit, it's Lyndon Johnson, and he succeeded in
That's what they
actually
say.
trying to
I
create
think
that
he
kind of an
succeeded.
environment. And the reason why he was very creative on the way he did it is he blamed the other side for it and got them, the blacks, to vote Democratic for God knows how many decades until now, where things are
very
slightly
long
changing.
time.
And I'll wrap up the thoughts here, and I want to get your.
But can I respond to what
Of course,
you just said?
yeah, absolutely.
I think that when you mention all of those things, first of all, you said nothing that I can dispute. Nothing. Because that's just factually correct.
It looks
what you
it.
pointed out. And I think that the important thing to bring up when we bring that stuff up is that is exactly the reason why black folks in America have historically over the last 50 plus years had that divide with the Republican Party. Stay with me. What happened is, Patrick, you invite me onto this show and you talk to me. We're having this conversation. You show me facts. I leave this office. I give you no resistance. And then you turn on the TV and I'm like, Patrick Bet-Davis full of it. Look what he brought up. This some racist BS, blah, 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 blah. You'd never want to talk to me again.
He not lying.
It's disingenuous.
He not
It's
lying.
not educated. It's not fair.
It's not. It's
One
not
of the
right
things
at
that
all.
we have to pay attention to is that there is a Republican Party that can't disguise its resentment towards black America because of what you just pointed out. It's just that we're looking at it differently.
Yeah.
As this black person, when I got to know Republicans and I heard my parents speaking about conservatism and stuff like that, I remember asking my mother one day, I said, you know that fact. How would you feel if you know that you contributed to bringing civil rights legislation to the desk of the presidency to sign in the law, and that was ignored? Because the party that he represented, he made sure they got all the credit for what you played a role in.
And then you get called racist after that. Like, I'm telling you, it is crazy. We need to start doing our own research. I think that's what it's come down to, y'all. We need to start doing our own research. That way we know what's going on. We just don't go by what's told to us. We vote in this side and this side racist when obviously it's obviously clear that this was bipartisan and it was the Republicans who actually, helped push this through. Lyndon B. Johnson did not want to push that through. It seems like to me. Oh yeah, I'm going to do it because I have to. But they about to vote for the next 200 years. Democrat. We going to ruin their homes, ruin their families. And we going to blame it all on the racist Republicans. And now if you go Republican, they going to call your names Coon and Uncle Tom. They got us for nothing. Now, we maybe they probably gave us that then, but now I feel like they got us for nothing. Not like, hey, just give them a little something to keep them quiet. Give them a black president. They'll stay quiet for a little while. We need to start doing our own research, y'all. I think the time of us just voting just cause, it's over with. It's over with. Both parties, we got to get over that. Republicans, obviously, like it's bipartisan. It was bipartisan. Ain't not as racist as it seems like. And from where he's coming from, if I was to help somebody out, and next thing you know, I'm getting bashed and called and treated all sorts of ways, I wouldn't treat you as good no more neither. So like he said, I would be resentful for you as well. Stephen A. Smith, I think that was, well articulated to the black community on doing your own research and not just going by what we are told to do. I think that was fantastic, and it definitely helped me on my journey. And it just shows me that I have more to learn. It's more I need to research. It's more I need to think about before we vote here. Because we vote soon, y'all. But we had time. We had time to do our due diligence and actually get our wits about us and actually know what we're going to do. Because we not walking in shadow no more. No more. We're going to do our research and we're going to keep up with it now. If you with me, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Man, that was good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That's why I like doing this now. Because it gives me a chance to, like I said, I'm learning with y'all. Y'all see me right now learning. Y'all see me right now getting blown away. Like my mind expanding. Oh, I need to do some research. I need to do this. I need to do that, It definitely helps me out. This right here helps me out probably more than it helps you out. Sometimes, which is crazy. I'm trying to get all for y'all. I'm doing it all for y'all. But at the same time, I'm gaining just as much as y'all are gaining. For sure. That is a for sure. Like, it's nonsense. The things I learned. That's why I love doing this, y'all. It's not just some stuff thrown together. It's always lessons learned for me and just growth that comes with this. This journey to becoming the richest Steve in Atlanta is nothing but growth for me specifically. And I hope it's growth for y'all too, because that's what I'm trying to bring to the table. It's growth for us all, understanding for us all. But yeah, if you here for that 7 a.m. crew, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know y'all in the building. It's 7 a.m. I know some more folks don't woke up, y'all. They ain't make the 6 a.m. crew, but they'll make that 7 a.m. crew. 7 a.m. a little easier to make it to than that 6 a.m. But like I said, we hit 6 a.m. because we got to get it done before we put in the work for the man. We got to get it done before we put in that work for the man. We gonna keep this thing moving, y'all. We got that money topic. Y'all know I always gotta, this the last topic of the day too, y'all. I always gotta end us off with a little bit of money. Because at the end of the day, that's what, that's what you can't be the richest Steve in Atlanta without a money. I think I still can, because I can be richer than you in the people I know. I can be richer than you in my faith. I could be richer than you in the people that love me. All that stuff. You could be richer than somebody in all those things. You could be happy in life with all those things. It doesn't have to have the money. But money definitely makes it easier. I don't care what nobody say. Money definitely make it easier. So we always end it off with the money. And today we got 10 money rules to build life-changing wealth by Am I saying this right? Ramaswamy? Am I saying that right? No, I'm talking about Vivek. I forgot this dude's name. He'll give it to us, but it's good stuff. Let's go. We're going to get right into it.
One of the keys to building a rich life is to create a few simple guidelines around what to do with your money. Think about it. On any given day, you're faced with 100 financial decisions. Should I buy this type of chicken or that type? Should I pay off my debt earlier or not? Should we buy a house or rent? What you want to do is build your personal philosophy on money so you can narrow down all your options and have an easy way to make these big decisions. I call them money rules. And I want to share my 10 money rules. These are my actual rules that I use to make big decisions with my money. And I want to remind you before you watch, these are just my rules. Some of them are going to sound weird. Some of them are even going to sound totally ridiculous. And that's fine, because when you create your own money rules, they should fit you like a handmade glove. So here are my 10 money rules. Number 1, always have 1 year of emergency fund cash. Now, typically, people in the personal finance world recommend 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund, right? For me, I prefer to be more conservative. I want to know that if something really bad happens, I have extra cash available to tide things over. You saw this during COVID when tons of people were laid off or lost their jobs, and they were panicking because some people did not have an emergency fund. Now, for me, I choose to have a larger than typical emergency fund. And one quick thing is, when I say cash, I don't mean there's money sitting around in my closet. Please don't try to rob me. It's in a bank account. It's liquid. It's just sitting there. I don't really care about the interest on it. In case I ever need it, I know it's there. One last thing, if a 1 year emergency fund seems extreme to you,
It seems very.
just adjust the numbers. Start with a month, work to 3 months, maybe 6 months. It's up to you, but this is just my own rule for myself. Rule
Number 1, have an emergency fund. He said 1 year, but that's for him. But he said customize it, y'all. You have to have an emergency fund. For me right now, y'all know I follow the baby steps. I'm followed by Dave Ramsey, the baby steps. And this guy's name is Remit, y'all. Remit. I had to go think of it. Remit. Y'all see how close it is? Remit. Have an emergency fund is number 1. Like I said, I'm following, so I have $2,000 as my emergency fund right now while I'm getting debt out of there, and it's work. But after that, I for sure will build me up an emergency fund that I feel like will have me feel safe if something was to ever happen, just in case. And it will be, liquid. Actually have liquid cash where you feel safe just in case anything, an emergency ever comes up. They normally say 3 to 6 months. I've been hearing it get larger and larger. I heard 3 months. I heard 6 months. Like he said, the way he feels, a whole year emergency fund, and that's a lot. That is definitely a lot. But having an emergency fund is for sure number 1.
number 2, I save 10% and I invest 20% of gross income minimum. Let me explain this. In my conscious spending plan, I talk about saving 5 to 10% and I talk about investing 5 to 10%. A lot of people go, Ramit, why are you saying one thing and doing another? Well, let me tell you why. At a minimum, you should be saving and investing 5 to 10%. As you make more money, you should increase those numbers, especially depending on what type of lifestyle you want to live. For me, I know that true wealth is created by investing. So I'm aggressive about taking money and investing it. That means that I've been investing since I was 14 years old, and as I make more, I invest more. The key here is that I want to live a rich life today and a richer life tomorrow. Now, a lot of people will not be able to save 10% of gross and invest 20% of gross. That's a lot of money. You typically have to have quite a high income in order to be able to do that. But if you can't do that, adjust it, right? Make it work for you. At a minimum, maybe your money rule can be invest and save 5 to 10% of net income, as I recommend in the CSP. Start where you can, but just do one thing. Every single year, add 1% to your savings rate and 1% to your investment rate. That single decision alone will be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you.
Rule number 2, y'all, was yourself comes first, y'all. 10% to yourself comes first. I was telling y'all, all these money rules, bro, they really cycle. If you know them, a lot of people say the same things. It's literally just customizing it to your life. 10% to yourself first. what he said, he did 10% to investing and 10% to saving. So for me right now, I'm close to that. I'm really close to that. Not really on the saving part. I put 10% to myself. That's period. 10% to myself. I am at a higher percentage than that, but like he said, start somewhere. You need to start somewhere. And for me, the minimum is 10% to yourself first. Before anything else, 10% to yourself. It just, and once you get into that habit, y'all, you don't miss that money. You don't miss that money. Because you learn to live on less. You automatically just learn to live on it. It automatically comes out at the beginning of each month. That 10% to yourself, it works beautifully.
Rule number 3, be able to pay in full for large expenses such as a wedding, a honeymoon, and a house. Can I please talk about this? Because the internet always goes berserk whenever I post it. People go, Ramit, are you saying you want to pay in cash for a full house? Who could do that? I go, well, some people can, clearly, because there's a lot of people who pay all cash for a house, but that's not the point. Years ago, I had a mentor. He took me out to lunch one day, and he was talking about money, and he goes, I have a no debt policy in my household. And I thought to myself, that must be nice. And I realized over time, as my career progressed, that actually is nice. And it actually takes a lot of discipline, because as you earn more money and as your net worth grows, it's very tempting to spend money and take on debt. Now, if you want to take on debt thoughtfully, okay, that's one thing. But it's a strong point of view to say we have a no debt policy in our household. When I was in my early 20s, I knew that one day I would get married. I hadn't even met my wife at that point, but I knew that marriage was important and having a beautiful Indian wedding was also important.
Remy.
So I started saving money before I'd even met her. I also knew that we'd want to go on an amazing honeymoon. Started saving money for that, for a ring, all those things. Same thing for a house. We don't own a house by choice today. Someday we'll buy a house. We've been saving for that for years. Now here's the key. When I go to make these large purchases, I don't want cost to be the first reason to make a decision, the second, or even the fifth. I want to put enough money aside that cost is not the primary determinant. Now, is it realistic for most people to buy a house and pay for it in full? No, that's why it's my rule. Are we going to get a house and pay all cash? I don't know, maybe not, depends on interest rates. But I want to know that we could. That is why this is one of my money rules, and that is why this rule is probably unrealistic for most people. But the principle, looking ahead, saving for something before it happens, that principle will never go out of style.
Number 3, that no debt lifestyle. Like you said, paying for things in advance. The thing that I have learned about this, y'all, is when you pick up debt, you have to look at over the long term, you actually pay more. That's the thing behind having debt. Especially with, I like to use the example because I had the student loans thing. With student loans, you literally look at that balance. If you're paying the minimum, you will always be in debt because that interest compounds on top of what you have to pay. If you look at your statement for your student loans, I hope you are looking at your statement, you will see a little column that says, for me it's little right now, only because I've been paying it off for so long. But if you wait, trust me, it will continue to build. It says you have $13 accrued this month in interest. So if you're not paying it off, or you're only paying the minimum, $13 get added. Yeah, $13 more dollars each month gets added. And the longer you take to pay, the more interest that you occur. That's why they say don't do debt. Because in the long run, you actually pay more for that purchase. But like he said, it's not feasible all the time to do that. So for me, in my life, I just try to pay it off as fast as possible. I know one thing that has made me sick, y'all, is my car decides to break down at the beginning of 2024. I started this whole thing. I haven't been saving up for a car, so there's no way I'm gonna pay it off in general. So now it's like, yes, Steve, you're gonna have to pick up some debt. I literally had no choice. And I've been in a cycle of car breaking down, gotta repair it, car breaking down, gotta repair it, for like, I would say years now. At least 3 years since I got out of college. Gotta fix this. All right. Gotta fix that. All right. I'm tired of it. So I'm about to go do car, and I'm gonna get something that I enjoy. So obviously I'm picking up debt, and I will explain that whole story later. Y'all hear that whole story later. But I gotta get a new car. So that just is what it is. Do I wish I had money set aside the way I could just pay this stuff off? Yes, for sure. Because I know I've already done the calculations. The quicker I pay this off, basically, the less money I will pay for this purchase. But if I was to wait at the term of my loan, I would pay almost double for the same purchase. That, if I would have saved up, it would have been cheaper.
That brings me to rule number 4. I never question spending on books, appetizers, or donating to charity. One of the things I love about rules is creating rules that are permissive, not restrictive. You may have heard of Ramit's book buying rule, which says anytime I see a book that I'm even remotely interested in, I just buy it. If I'm thinking about it, I buy it. I don't waste 5 seconds debating, equivocating. Even one idea makes it worth it. That's the same thing for this rule. You might be wondering, how come in the last rule I'm talking about something as big as buying a house, and now I've shrunk it to talk about appetizers? Well, it's personally meaningful to me. When I was a kid, we rarely ate out, and when we did, we never got appetizers. So now to be able to sit down at a restaurant and to be able to order appetizers, that alone feels magical. To be able to say, ooh, I like both of those, I'm gonna get both. That feels even more magical. And the best thing of all, when I'm eating out with somebody else, I just say, you know what? Here's my rule. Anything you see that looks good on the menu, just order it. That is truly a rich life for me. So when it comes to appetizers, I gave myself unlimited spending. When it comes to donating to a charity, unlimited spending, because my wife and I ran a charity fundraiser, and it was incredibly meaningful when our friends donated for the cause. So the question I have for you is, what's your thing? What's that one thing in your life where you want to give yourself unlimited spending? Maybe it's gardening, and your rule might say, gardening is so important to me that I'm going to give myself unlimited spending on gardening supplies, flowers, sunblock, manicures, whatever. Pick the thing that you want to give yourself true abundance for, and trust that you will not go absolutely crazy when it comes to spending.
That's rule number 4, y'all. Find somewhere that you want to spend money on. The thing to me in this debt loss journey that I hate, that Dave Ramsey always says, is you need to live on beans and rice and beans. That's just, it doesn't make sense to me at all. Life is not promised to any of us. So there needs to be a portion where you actually enjoy your money, where it's not all restrictive. And I've been told this, as well. Enjoy some. Like, you can relax. Yes, stay to your principles. Every now and then, though, it is okay to enjoy your money. You've earned this. You've earned the right to actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, enjoy it every now and then. It doesn't all have to be, like he said, restrictive all the time. Enjoy your money. So have things in your life that you enjoy doing, that you actually put your money to, because in the long run, it will make you more successful because you enjoy doing that thing. That's why they tell you, a lot of times in your career, pick something that you love doing because you'll be able to do it longer. Let's go.
Rule number 5, I fly business class on flights over 4 hours. Now, this rule is simply because I want to and I can afford it. And that's what a permissive, abundant money rule looks like. I didn't fly business class growing up. I didn't even fly growing up, hardly ever. But eventually, when I started flying in my early 20s, I remember walking down the aisle and I would scoff. Oh, these people, why would they sit in the front and pay 4 times when we're all getting to the same place? Ha ha ha, they're wasting their money. What I wish I had done, instead of disparaging them, was to get curious. I call that the D to C principle. I wish I would have said, why would someone pay 4 times the price to sit towards the front of the plane? I wonder what they're getting out of this. Is there something that they're getting out of it that I can't see? And over time, of course, I realized, it feels better and you have more security. Your bags you're going to have space for your bags. And ultimately, just if you can easily afford it and you want to, and you're hitting all your savings and investing numbers, why not? That's one of the key principles about money. You don't have to justify your purchases to anybody else. If you're hitting your numbers and you decide this thing is important to me, go for it. Dude. I also like having a simple, clear rule. So I don't have to debate with myself. I don't even have to tell my assistant, oh, well, I feel like this should be coach and this should be economy plus. No, it's just a simple rule. If the flight's over 4 hours, business class. Boom. I love simple, clear rules. Yours may not be business class. It may not be economically practical, or you may just not care enough. But think about what your clear and simple rules could be. Remember, these are my personal money rules. You can adapt them or you can completely ignore them. It's up to you.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Have y'all ever rode business class, first class, plus, not flown the Spirit Airlines Frontier? Actually flown Delta. That joint be nice, y'all. It do. It definitely encourage you. What do I need to do so I can stay here, though? That's what do I need to do so that I can stay here? And one thing that I like about his money rules and what he's actually teaching us to do is create rules in there that add to your life. Like, it doesn't always have to take away. All right, I need 10% here. Things where you enjoy it. Like he said, if you see a book, if you see an appetizer that you enjoy, I'm going to go get it. That's this for him. He going to go get it. If the flight over 4 hours, automatically, I'm going to do it. Because having money rules isn't always about restricting. It can be very freeing sometimes. Because you already know, this is my money rule. This is the rule I follow. So it's going to happen pretty much no matter what.
Rule number 6, I buy the best and I keep it for as long as possible.
That is it.
Now, everybody kind of intuitively loves this until we actually talk about what specific things they buy. They're like, Ramit, I totally agree. You got to buy the best to keep it for life. I go, open up your closet. It's all Uniqlo. That looks horrible. It's all pilling. And they buy new stuff every single month. Oh, but Ramit, it's all about the best. Listen, when I talk about buying the best, I'm talking about the things that are important to me. For me, it's clothes. Yes. It's things I use every single day. Those are important. For example, the little scoop that I use to scoop out coffee. I got a nice wooden spoon from Japan. I love it. I'm going to use that thing for the rest of my life. Another example, my iPhone. Whenever I get an iPhone, I just have a simple rule. Just get the one with the most storage space. My car. I bought a Honda Accord when I graduated from college. I've driven that thing for 19 years. Okay, now, am I saying a Honda Accord is the best car? Yes, I am. Especially the LX V6. For all my Honda aficionados, the 3 of you out there, you know what I'm talking about. And clothes, including the Vicuña sweater, which I talk about in this video, that actually costs more than the car. So some of these items, if you buy the best and you truly keep them forever, can actually be passed on for generations. Another reason is why I buy shoes and then I get them repaired instead of going and just buying a bunch of brand new shoes. Now, what I would recommend for you, we can't afford the best of everything, but we can have a principle that for these 2 or 3 areas in our lives, this is important to us, and we're gonna buy the best, and importantly, we're gonna keep those things for a long time.
Yeah, the biggest thing I picked up from there is actually how long that you're keeping something. Because a lot of us, we will get some cheap clothes. We go on to ASOS, Shein, and it only lasts you one season. And now next thing you know, you got to buy it again. And buy it again. And buy it again. When over time, if you would have gotten that more expensive thing and been able to keep it for longer, that's a way better purchase than just buying all that filler that you throw out. So if it is important to you, don't feel like, you can't have that. Get it and enjoy it.
That brings me to rule number 7, no limit for spending on personal development. Well, listen, I'm in the personal development field. I help people live a rich life. I talk about money, careers, business, and psychology. Of course, I want to buy personal development. I want to improve myself, which I want to consistently do, and I want to learn how other people are doing it. So in my opinion, just for my own money, my own rule is no limit. If I see something that looks interesting, whether it's an online course, whether it's a personal trainer, which has totally transformed my life, whether it's a posture coach, like I described and why I spent money on that, those things have totally changed my life. As you can imagine, for somebody who's in the personal development field, this is very meaningful for me. Now, the no limit part of this rule might scare you. Fine. It might not be practical for you. Also fine. You can adapt it for your own life. Maybe it's a cap of $100 a month on fitness classes. Maybe it's $1,000 a year on continuing education. Again, whatever makes sense for you. And if this rule just doesn't apply and it doesn't make you feel something, ignore it.
You don't have to
Rule number 8.
Yep, that's it. You don't have to have it. If at the end of the day, you don't have to. I think personal development is definitely something to invest in. And it is good to always seek personal improvement. So personal development, definitely for him, it fits. Like you said, change those rules. For me, I don't put as much money into it as I feel like I could, but it's not, I still have limits on the amount of money that I'm bringing in and the things that I'm spending it on. So I can't have it unlimited like he can. So for me personally, I would put it down to, like he said, probably $100 a month or something like that. A little less. As time goes on, of course, that thing can increase, and we might go limitless. We might go limitless on something else. It's not, like he said, we can change the rules a little bit.
I love this one. I earn enough to work only with people I respect and like. You ever work at a company where you have a meeting coming up with somebody tomorrow and you just look at your calendar and you see their name and you're just like, and you just start sweating. You're like, ah! You could feel it. You don't want to have that meeting because you don't like them. You don't respect them. Every time you talk to them, you walk out of there feeling worse. A lot of people are like, wait, that's how I feel about some of my friends. That's a sign. And I decided long ago that in my company, I'm going to work with people that I respect and that I like. I don't want to be miserable at work. Work is where I spend a lot of time and it's my company. So what that meant for my life is that I would never stay in a situation purely for money if I didn't like and respect the people I was working with. Now, I want you to notice that as we're getting towards the end of these 10 money rules, they're becoming a little less transactionally focused and much more focused on a rich life. And that's by design. The first rule is very tactical, 10%, 20%. But as we zoom out, we talk about what a rich life really means. All right,
See, like you said, like I said, a rich life does not always have to be money. It can be some of the personal things that you feel on the inside, which is definitely something that we all can strive for. I wouldn't want to work with people I don't like neither. We've all had those people where, for me, the biggest thing is that, like, in school, you don't really enjoy working with them, but y'all are forced to work together now. So the whole time is, the most money in the world would not make me want to work with you. So why work with you? Like, come on.
2 more money rules left to share, but before we get to that, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do me a favor, subscribe so that I can keep making these money videos for you. Now on to rule number 9, I prioritize my time outside the spreadsheet. There's a lot of spreadsheet nerds, including 22-year-old Ramit Sethi, who love to optimize life. Let me optimize my Excel sheets. Let me run the Monte Carlo. Let me calculate this projection. But what happens if there's a 2.6% instead of a 2.8% withdrawal rate? Stop it. At a certain point, you know your numbers. You've won. You've set your money up using chapter 5 of my book. You've got your conscious spending plan. Everything's flowing. Stop optimizing and turn the page. A rich life is lived outside the spreadsheet.
There you go.
So what does that mean? I knew that for a guy like me, an optimizer, I needed to create a rule to get away from my computer and to go outside and live my rich life. That for me means staying fit. It means traveling. It means seeing friends and family and loved ones. A rich life is lived outside the spreadsheet. And that brings me to
life is lived outside, y'all. That is period. You have to get out and actually see and do things. You do. And it is worth taking time away from the money. We are all not promised tomorrow. This is probably one of the most positive money outlooks ever. Like, we'll go to, let's get number 10. Let's get
number 10. Marry the right person.
Marry the right person.
This one
is beautiful.
Seems so obvious if you've been married, but it's important. It's so important. And that is why you see it in the position it is in, at the highest level of the last part of my money rules. The person you marry is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make.
Preach.
That person will affect your earnings. That person will affect where you live, what you eat, your family structure. They will affect everything. And not just the big things. They will affect the way that you talk about money and feel about money for the rest of your life. So important to have somebody who you are values aligned with. Now, that person might come from a different financial position. They might have a different amount of income or debt.
Trying to say I'm
That's
a
not
podcaster.
as important.
You don't
as,
know me.
Do they think about
Crypto
money?
trapper,
Are they
you don't know
willing
me.
to
I'm not a
talk about
podcaster.
money like you? If you can find a
Come on
match
now.
there, then you can learn the technicalities and build a rich life vision together.
I do this
Anyway,
on the side,
when it
my
came
boy.
to my relationship with my wife, I knew that we wanted to talk about money together. It would have been very easy for me to just be the money guy. No, I wanted us to develop our own rules and our own process for managing money together. All right, now that I've shared my 10...
Ramit, that was a great list. I like this list. And I'm going to tell you why I like this list. Number 10 for sure, though. I think it's definitely important of who you marry. That's one of the big things for me. Like, how does my girl manage money? Before I even made her my girl, how does she manage money? Because it affects your whole life. How does she feel about this topic? How does she feel about that topic? Before I even made my shorty my girl, I'm like, how do you think? Because I know it will affect me for the rest of life. Now let's talk about this list. This has been one of the most positive outlook lists I've seen in a long time. It's totally different to me than the thing that Dave Ramsey teach, because Dave Ramsey always teaches, like the worst is going to happen. He always teaches the worst is going to happen. You need to get out of debt right now because the worst is going to happen to you. And this list it feels very opposite. It's very positive. Live your life outside of it. One says live life outside. The other says rice and beans and rice until you're able to do that. This one says enjoy the money as you input these rules. It's totally different. It's totally different. And that's what I enjoy about this list. It gives a more positive outlook. It gives a more balanced outlook of how money actually should be in your life. Because I've gone through times of, I need to focus. I need to cut this out. I need to cut that out. The numbers is not getting hit. The numbers is wrong. It's not happening. I've literally had to sit down, like, bro, chill out some. Chill out. Like, is this really how life is supposed to be? You're not even enjoying this thing. You enjoy nothing about this right now. So why even do it? The future is not promised to you. You can be here today and going tomorrow. And life outside of that still has to go on. So while you're here, at least, yes, set up things properly for your future. At the same time, though, you need to enjoy your life and keep some balance. I appreciate Ramit for this. I appreciate him for this because he's giving a more balanced outlook in life. But one thing for him, definitely, that he started early. Like he said, he was 22 when he started. So starting earlier definitely makes that path a lot easier. A lot easier. And we're going to end it off with that. If you here with me, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment on your way out. That helped me out. Leave a comment on the way out. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all got something from this. DDG with some more than motivation. We had Stephen A. Smith on PBD talking about voting, learn. Actually, we need to start educating ourselves. That way we can make a decision for ourselves. And then we ended it off with Ramit giving us his 10 money rules to build life-changing wealth. And those weren't only money. It wasn't only money. It wasn't a whole bunch of doom and gloom. There is actually light on the other side of the road once you put these money rules into place. And that's something that we all could learn. I just want to say thank you all for tapping in this morning. And on your way out, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Peace, love, and riches. I'm out.